Whirlwind Children. There is a story of a 9-year-old Chinese girl who was playing in Songjian near Shanghai in July 1992 when she was carried off by a whirlwind and deposited unhurt in a treetop almost 2 miles away. Another similar event occurred in May of 1986 when a freak wind lifted up 13 children in the oasis of Hami in western China and deposited them unharmed in sand dunes and scrub 12 miles away. The Filia Stones. In the adventure film Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the hero embarks upon a quest to regain some stolen sacred stones that are able to radiate an eerie, glowing light. These may have been inspired by the real objects called the Booya Stones. Booya Stones are sacred stones that were kept by the priests in Aurora Islands, which are located in the Torres Straits. According to the stories, the stones emitted intense blue light and had a number of apparently magical properties. Australian travel writer Ágreda researched the stones and said that they produced a light of such intensity that when it was concentrated into a beam by a special holding device and pointed at a human, an X-ray effect was observed, and it was invariably followed by that person's death. Ágreda speculated that they may have been lumps of pure radium, but their identity has never been conclusively ascertained. For with the onset of the European control in Australia, the Aurora Islands priests hid the revered stones in secret caves. If the stones ever resurface, the mystery may one day be solved. The Aurora Islands. The Aurora Islands are a group of islands first spotted in 1762 near Antarctica that appeared and disappeared a number of times over the course of several decades. Officially, the Aurora Islands never existed. In 1762, a Spanish merchant ship named the Aurora reported that there were 3 small islands in the bleak ocean near Antarctica. In 1790, another ship reported seeing the same 3 islands. In 1794, a Spanish ship passed within a mile of the 3 islands. The existence of the Auroras was accepted as fact, and the islands appeared on all the sailing charts of the period. A famed explorer named James Weddell searched for the Auroras in 1820, but after sailing back and forth through the area, he never found any sign of the islands. The ships continued to sight the islands for much of the 19th century. What would explain the disappearance? Icebergs? Many of the sightings describe the rocky slopes of the islands. Perhaps the auroras were some kind of mirage. It's likely that we'll never know for sure what was seen by the ships that discovered the Aurora Islands. Dead monk returns to life? This interesting story from the mysterious universe tells of Ama Itiligov, a deceased monk from 1926 who was believed by palace officials to be coming back to life and moving around on a CCTV camera. Ama was a Buddhist religious leader in Russia prior to the Bolshevik Revolution, and became famous and reviled in 1926 for warning his fellow monks to leave the Soviet Union. Ama died in the lotus position, and per his request, was buried that way in a pine box. He also requested to be dug up every so often. He was dug up in 1955, 1973, and finally in 2002, and his remains were found to be in remarkably good shape for someone who was allegedly dead and not mummified. Some say he's in a nirvana state of hibernation and is still alive. On a sequence of photographs from the CCTV camera in the palace, an unidentifiable figure is seen moving around the museum, according to the Lama Damba Ashiviv. The camera was triggered by a movement in the room where the mummy Lama was. The time of the first photo was 8:05 p.m., when the museum was closed to the public. However, the building was occupied by security guards. Some suggest that the fuzzy picture shows a guard dressed in military fatigues, carrying 2 bags and wearing shoes. That's a lot of details to pick out in a fuzzy picture. Looking for meaning in the monks' movement in military-like makeup, a spokesman speculated that the fact that he appeared in camouflage, we did not know. Maybe it is some kind of sign. Maybe he is trying to say something, that we should work together in peace. The Lady in Blue. This is a remarkable story about how a young and beautiful Spanish nun who has never traveled outside of her convent in her entire life was able to spread her missionary work to the Red Indians across Arizona, Mexico, and western Texas. It all started one day when 18-year-old Sister María knelt down for prayer and she began to chant. As she went on, her face began to grow pale, and her body began to sway. She appeared to be unconscious. This was witnessed by a beggar who claimed that a brilliant blue light enveloped her, and her comatose body levitated high several feet above the floor. This would be the first over 500 teleportations that she experienced in her entire lifetime. She claimed that she was being transported by the aid of the angels. Between 1621 and 1629, numerous missionaries in east and western Texas and into New Mexico reported encountering Indians who carried crosses, knew Roman Catholic ritual, maintained recognizable altars in the villages, and knew Catholic liturgy in their own tongues. When the Spaniards asked how they learned these things, they described a beautiful young woman in blue who had been coming to them for years, teaching them the new religion in their own languages, and she told them that the white-skinned Christians would eventually come to see them. When her body was exhumed in 1989, it was found that she had not deteriorated at all in the last 80 years. Investigators took photographs and other evidence before resealing her casket, which remains on display in the monastery church. Some consider this a sign of incorruptibility, that is, a lack of normal rot and decay after death, as being further evidence of sanctity.